没啥人。OK，来。还没事，这还没人上来哈，能听到我吗？能听到吗？我现在有10几个人了，你看不到 chat 啊，chat 上他们没打字儿。Hello， wait for another couple minutes.
I can't hear you.
听不到吗？
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can or cannot?
No.
Okay, let me see. What is this thing? Cannot. What is this thing? 你的手机上来，你从手机那边能不能看到啊？手机那边看不到吗？我这边已经 live 了。你的手机上那个上那个看不见吗 ？Really? Now what happened? 我这边 live chat 也看得见啊，有 live chat 有那个东西啊。一手就上到了文言文那个 channel， 点那个 live 那个地方，看不见啊。你这边也听不到我说话。System setting, what happened there?
Hi, Monica. 早上好。
So Monica, can you hear me, Monica? Can you hear me? Yeah, 他可以听到。Okay, so 你要 live 这边我应该开了。
还是你的那个？
手机上看不到我吗？为什么这里头有声音呢？
就是你的那个 notes，就是你说哦，欢迎大家 join，就是在 live 里，就是你的那个。
那是从你手机头出来的吗？
对，现在评论你还听见吗？
不，你要进到我的频道里头，那个频道里头它专门有个 live 的，已经 live 了，不是那个 broadcasting 的东西，进错地儿了。来，maybe。啊，已经。
我听到你听到说话了。对 ，live 了。
对，这样的话应该可以。我看看这边有没有，现在没人进来。就这边现在目前也没几个人，4个人。还有谁？
你好。
你好，早上好，下午好了，你那是中午好了，对。we'll try to work this out. The list we're read. The time is not. I mean, from Israel, time is not good for them, but somehow cannot fit everyone. Especially there's a 12-hour difference between the U.S. and Asia. That's another thing.
Also, it's morning for them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wait a couple of minutes. So, let's see how if we don't have too many. If we don't have too many questions, I mean, go ahead.
chat 我在哪看到？
Especially there's a trauma difference. If we don't have too many. Eh, 我真找不到你那个 chat 在哪。
你能找到是吗？
你看我这个好，你看这个 line，然后下面这个，它应该 chat 出来的时候就出来了。4个人我去那个是 chat，这下面这行就是 chat，它不打字。
OK。你把。
我这个监测。Okay, let's try this. Yeah, if we don't have too many questions, we go over. Then I just go with 4 character. 春夏秋冬. Maybe we cannot finish the spring, summer, autumn, and winter. But I want to incorporate some like life thing into the like spring. And traditionally, why should you pay attention to your body? Why you should pay attention to your what kind of thing you should eat? What is the requirement for summer? What is for the autumn? What is for winter? This kind of thing. Hi, Suren.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Mr. Hur, you received my questions, I hope?
Yeah. One's regarding the sui. One is what is that one? One is the 水, another one is CM.
You can check on the signal, my signal.
Signal. Okay, let me see.
I sent it to Elizabeth and you.
Yeah. Oh, 部首 OK.
Hi, Irene.
Hi, Irene.
早上好。
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 早上好. Hey. So you guys not very busy now, so that's good timing. Between now and December, right? Starting from middle of December, you guys are gonna be very busy again. So maybe we can take this couple of months, do a little 冲刺. How to say 冲刺in English?
Rush.
A rush? No. Make an extra effort for this couple several months. Then maybe lay out a better foundation for next year. Yeah, my original idea actually is if you guys can follow, catch up with the speed every week till like 2 year, and we'll be able to master 2,000 to 2,500 character. Then you'll be able to read it. Or if you're not there, by utilizing the dictionary, that'd be workable. But the first several hundred, like 600 to 800 characters, is hard. Then you double it, that would be easier. But I'm trying to incorporate more like cultural connotation into it and make it connotation-wise, make it more workable for you guys. Yeah. So let me just share my screen too. If we need to, we don't have too many. Yeah, it's time, right? Okay.
3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just get over here. Share screen. If we could do. If we don't have enough question, you guys are working really hard. Then we move on to another couple of character. Share with you guys. Let me see, where is it? 加一宾利. So 天干 is okay. It's easier, right? It's easy for you guys if I have that picture, but I do not know if 地支 will serve the same, because 地支 is hard to find an analogy for you guys. 天干 is not the actual analogy. It's a real thing. I just need to find appropriate picture for like those plants growing up. Okay, let's start with good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's start from Jean's question. One is the 岁, 季节, I mean a year, the 岁 of that character. Let me show you that one. 岁 here. This one. 岁. Why it's related to year? It's actually the Jupiter. In Chinese, it's 木星. In Chinese, 木星. Let me. Chinese is 木星. This one, 岁, 木星. Every 12 years, 木星is going to show up in the sky the same spot. So 12 years in Chinese timing also use this character. Remember, 季.
12 years or months?
12 years. Every 12 years. So it used as the star to count years. So it's a more generalized meaning of 岁, because 一岁 is 1 year. So because there's very regular, every 12 years it's going to show up at the same place. So this so that's called a 岁星. 岁星. So that's how. But then utilize this the shui, the shui was used to. On one layer is generalized way to describe year or years, but we want to say 年 is the same, actually same kind of analogy. You can say 一年, or when you say 年 could generalize to any years, year to years. We don't have a singular or plural, that kind of concept in Chinese. So when you want to say singular, you want 一年, 2 years, we say 2年, there's no s. 一岁, the little boy, little girl, 一岁, 1 year old, or 3岁, 3岁, right? There's no s. So generalized, but why the shui linked to year? Because this Jupiter, the Muxin, every 12 years show up there in the same spot. Okay, so does that answer that question for this shui?
Sure.
Okay. It's not, let me see, there's in Chinese way of thinking, let me put an answer here. Like 1 + 1 = 2. That's in Chinese and also in Western, in American or in Europe, the same thing. 1 + 1 = 2. It's universal in India, in everywhere, in Korea, in Vietnam. But most of the time, in Chinese way of thinking, 1 + 1 could be bigger than 2 or smaller than 2, and could be 0, could be minus, could be 3, could be 5, could be 100. That's how you feel Chinese is so complicated. Say 2 people do one project together. If we contribute all the best, the outcome could be 3, or better than even 5 people doing things. But if we have a conflict, we're fighting with each other, after 1 month or 3 months, we get a negative result. So that's kind of way to think about 1 + 1 = what? Depends. So, but mathematically, 1 + 1 = 2, right? So that's the thing. That's the same analogy to 年 or 岁. And when you talk about 岁, when you want to put in the very specific context in a specific sentence or situation, we'll talk about the 1年, 2年, or the generalized years or timing wise. That's how. Okay. That's one. Another one I think is做. Let's see. Let me add one new page here.
My question, I think when you're looking at it now, is can a character have more than one radical?
Yeah. I'm getting to it here.
And is it shall or is it da?
That's right. For example, this one, 做, 一座山, or 一座城, or 一个座位, sitting is using the same 座. This part serve as a 部首. And this part, you can say this is 部首. Generally, this is more generally like a 注, but this part, when you put in this character, it serves as another part of a 部首. 2.
So the busho is
Both. Yeah. 广 is a more often used 部首. But another part,
just be a part of it.
yeah, in this part of it, you can say it's a 部首 too, because this show you this part mainly give the provide the sound pronunciation. This part provide mainly contribute to the meaning, but this also contributes to meaning too, because usually when we talk about 一座山, the majority of the sand is something like this. It's like sitting there, unless it's Everest. It's so tall and standing over there. That's standing there. it's so steep, so sharp. That was most of the time it give you impression it's sitting there, like big building. That's all those big buildings. It's sitting there, unless there's one building like World Trade Center. It's very tall, long standing there and standing there. So most of the time it's sitting there. So in that perspective, on that, when we're talking about that, this could serve as a booster too. But technically, we usually treat this as a booster, this ground as a booster, to bringing the meaning to it. This serve because this pronounces 做 too, right? This whole thing the same pronunciation. This is 做, and this is 做. So this 做, the pronunciation of this 做 is coming from here. But this contribute more of the meaning of this mean a mountain part. 山崖 is the mountain part. There's a certain mountain part have this come out and cover it. You can create or build a house or whatever, or a cave. You can hide there for ancient time. You can stay there, treat it as a home. So you use this shape or this shape give you a meaning of this kind of shape of mountain. Then you can stay there. Yeah. So that's both can. For example, another one. Whatever what we learned before.
Jian. What about Jian? Sure.
天
Jian.
You said in here. Let me see what is it. Let me give you another example. For example, 天. This is the very simple, right? But you can dissect it to 1 plus 大. This can serve as a buoso for this, for this, for this. This can serve as a buoso for 天, for 太. So add one stop here. So it's a relative. It's a relationship of a relative. It's always put it into a relationship. When they can dissect, they can both consider as a buoso. Here, this is 一部. The 一部, this part is 大部. Yeah. Technically, there's a book in Han Dynasty. Han Dynasty. It's written like this. Han Dynasty. Here, Han Dynasty. That author have 540 bushel, but that's just in his system. There were different system, but his system is widely accepted. So as long as one part can serve as can have a meaning, independent meaning, and be put into the one complicated character, it can be considered as a bushel, technically. So you don't need to really work on that, because otherwise, if you become a scholar, focus on analyzing, studying this bushel technical thing, you spend more time on it. Otherwise, you just like we provided 36 bushel. We started from there, and the rest of them you don't need to worry about that. Later on, when we get to that, I said you can treat it as a bushel. You can treat it as a whole character. That's either way is okay. Either way is okay. Technically, there's no, even though I said this 36 function as a 26 letters in English, it's an analogy. It's not really equal. It's not really Because in English you only have 26 letter, then you can compose all kinds of word. But this 36, I pick it up from 540. It's more frequently used in Chinese character, especially for this basic 2,500 characters, but cannot cover everything. It's a big portion of it. Yeah, it's kind of say 90%, 95%, even 98%, but cannot be 100%. Remember, in the way of thinking in Chinese, when you get it to 100%, when you get into, starting from here, go here. When you get 100%, you turn to the other side. So you want to gradually establish this way of thinking. If you go to the string, you just turn to the other side around. But it's constantly rotating. So nobody can really stand on the extreme point forever. You either fall back or you go to the other side. So that's how in Lao Tzu, not Lao Tzu, who is it? Kongzi, Confucius. His way is kind of clever way, but it's kind of it's not that easy way to say. You stay on this area. You always, if you go here, you stay on the line, so you don't cross. So that's called 中庸. That Waki, he calls it 中庸. Stay in the middle way. Ideally, it's good, but nobody can really always do it. Nobody can really always do it. But you want to maintain that mentality, then you don't make big mistake. That's what I understand what he means. Okay, that's one thing. Let me see. Okay, what else do you have? The third one. 来而不往非礼也，来而不往亦非礼也. Okay, how you get it from characters? Oh, 来而不往非礼也，来而不往亦非礼也，非礼也. That one, you understand, right? You guys suppose 来而不往非礼. I just give actually this one just very simple. You want to give an example for 来往 往来. So because the 来而不往非礼 is very commonly used in ancient time, even now modern time. We introduce this two characters 来 往, or the other way around, 往来, the same thing. It's like making friend, have a relationship. So then I give an example like 来而. We learn all this character, so there's a way to review this character too. 无往非礼 非礼. We haven't learned this li yet, right? This one, I forgot. 非礼 is it like making friend? I invite you to a dinner. For make it even, make it equal or good friend. Next time, sometime you can invite me to another dinner or a lunch. That's the basic. There is no difference between East and West. I just use this because this is a very old, but also very contemporary expression in the social relationship society. But what I use an example to say 往来来往 can be used in this kind of sentences, but this is a very classical sentence. That's all. Put this character into the sentence to see how it is used. Or you can use other way around. I have a friend in Florida. 我们 we often 经常来往. 我们经常有电话来往. We all call each other. 我们经常有电话往来, the same thing. 往来来往 just 来往 is from there here. 往来 is from here to there first. So it's back and forth. So that's how I use this sentence. 来而往 来而不往非礼也，来而不往非礼。Yeah, that's I think I just use that sentence as example. 来而不往来而不往非礼也，来而不往非礼也，来而无往。无和不 is the same thing. It's a negative. They can replace each other. 来而无往 or 来而不往非礼也。往而不来亦非礼。反过来 ，the friend give me something, I don't give it back. It's not polite. It's not good. If I give the friend something, he didn't pay back the respect. It's not appropriate too. That's the both side. That's when I use this kind of sentence to describe it. Yeah, that's all. Variette has a question, I think. Let me see. Oh, I answered her already. For I think it's ready to start too. So you guys have other question we can talk about here? That this answer your question? Yeah, sorry, Jean.
Not completely.
Not completely.
Lai are Wu Wang. The faith. I understand the meaning of it. I don't understand how that meaning comes from the individual characters. I understand the Lai and the Wang.
Yeah.
But I don't really understand
the sentence.
Li. Yeah.
You don't understand the sentence. You understand the character.
Yeah.
Oh, the sentence. Okay.
I don't understand the sentence.
You understand the sentence.
I understand the sentence, but I don't understand how you get that meaning from those characters.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is just an application of the character into the sentence. Just like I just give you another sentence, for example. Elizabeth and Jean call each other oftentimes in English. In Chinese, Elizabeth 和 Jean 有 has or have 电话往来。电话 is telephone call 电话。
That I understand.
Yeah, so you can 来而往 can be used in different sentences. That's I use that sentence just as an example. So okay, this can be used in that sentence. That's all. There's no kind of logic. Say, oh, I have to use that in. Yeah. 往来 if that one 来而无往，来而无往，非礼。Let me see if I can replace with a different character. Yeah, there's no logic kind of way of thinking. Just why I have to use this character in here. So that's the thing is you can use all the character in different sentences as long as it makes sense there. Gradually, we're going to do more practice. And you guys, some of you started to compose your own sentence and even poem in a way, ancient kind of grammar. We don't have grammar, but I have to use that character for you guys to get that one. Yeah, to get that one. Or we have in Chinese, especially ancient Chinese, very, very simple grammar. So there's no time, no singular and plus, no active and passive tense, no such a thing. But it's easier actually, more flexible. Basia, you want to say something?
Yes. I found because I was also curious about this sentence, and I was looking in Lexicon and some other places, and one of the explanations which was helpful for for me to understand this exactly like Arabic one thing yet was that when somebody comes to me and I don't go to him in just to exchange, and somebody only comes to me and I expect that he will always come to me and I will not go to visit him, that will not be polite and that this will not be polite. So this was like line and one, and this was the explanation why this line and one was used in this sentence. When I only expect that somebody will come and visit me,
Okay.
I will not go and visit him in exchange. This will be not polite. So yes, it's like why this exactly characters might were used in this for this sentence.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. 来往 is in let me create a situation you can imagine in your mind, like in a public place. An old friend of yours come to you, say hello. That's the meaning of lie. He or she come to you, or say you have a friend as a kid 20 years ago or 15 years ago. After 15 years apart, you see each other in a public place. He or she recognize you and she came to you. That's called lie. It's hello, hi, Basia. And you don't say anything back. That's not one. You want to say back, that's a one. Because she come to you and you respond. That's called a one too. So you say, oh, hello. Oh, it's good to see you. And say, hey, good to see you. That's a 来往往. That's what. When you see her first, you say, hi, Jean, or hi, Irene, or hi, Monica. She doesn't respond. That's not polite. You go out. Your voice, your attitude, your things go out. That's a one. Then she doesn't come back to you. That's 往来. If she doesn't respond the same way back, that's not polite. That's called a 非礼. 非 means not, right? Not polite, not according to the social right, rights, social rights. So back and forth is called 往来. Back and forth, come and go, can be translated both as 往来 or 来往. That's the thing. Let me explain clearly now.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Hit it more.
All right. Or in ancient scholar, there's a one very classic way. It's elegant way. They even though they're still apart, like maybe in that time maybe 50 miles away is far away, or 100 miles away. They send each other a letter, or even just a notice, just with a couple of sentences. If somebody for me, for example, I am one of the scholar. Okay, say Jean is another scholar. We know each other for many years, but she lives in like 100 miles away. So a friend of mine here in my place is a businessman. He's going to do business, go over there. I write just a note or a formal letter, 100 words letter, or just a couple of sentences, give it to him with my handwriting, put my stamp, and he bring it over there. And definitely he's going to, I write a poem. So, okay, oh, this is beautiful, and then beautiful place, beautiful thing happening here. And then that remind me, my good friends, you over there. And this businessman, half a year later, he go there and coming back, he's going to write another poem using the same 韵. Use the same 韵. How is that? Same 韵. Has to be the same. Use the same 韵. If in my poem I compose as 凹 as a 韵 or O as a 韵, he's gonna use the same 韵, write a similar poem and using same meaning, that friend bring it back to me. That's called a 往来 too. That's actually more often used. Between friends, we have 往来, that you got communication. Today is like texting instantly, but 100 years ago we do that. That's and all those little notes. If I was at scholar, happened to be good at calligraphy. 100 years later, this become a very precious thing to show the friendship and show my art of calligraphy. There's a lot of kind of collection. You go to Summer Palace in China or the Summer Palace in Taiwan, when they have a museum, they have all the kind of thing to show you daily life thing. It's like maybe 2,000 years from today, later, if you're famous, people later see your text message in iPhone. But it's not that artistic because everything's look the same. At that time, they write using a paintbrush. So that's called 往来 too. That's another way to say 往来. Okay.
So the sentence means if someone comes to me and I don't go to them, that's not polite.
Yeah, you have to respond.
Oh, so it doesn't mean if someone comes to me and I go back to him, it is polite. That's a different sentence.
Yeah, you have to basically just you have to respond. You have to respond if people treat you.
If it's a mutual thing, would you take the say out of the sentence?
Yeah, it is a double side. Another side I forgot. If people treat you good, you want to treat them good back. That's a 往来, 来往, right? If you don't treat you back, if people treat you good, you don't treat it good back, it's not polite. But at the same time, there's the same token on the other side. If people treat you bad, you want to safeguard your dignity. I said, oh, that's not good. If take advantage, small advantage is okay, but if you harm a community here, harm from my side, I want to fight back. That's another. As a human level for righteousness. If you're invading me, I'm gonna fight it back. That's another way to say 来而无往非礼也. So 来 could be good coming or could be bad coming. So good coming, I'm gonna go send it back the good thing. If something bad coming sent to me back, I want to fight it back too. So that's a human way to do it, to make it even, make it equal. So the 来往 is a neutral thing. It doesn't mean it has definitely mean a good or bad. But when it put into the specific sentence or specific situation, when something coming is good, you want to go back with good. At the same time, if something is bad, you can fight it back with bad. That's a way to say it.
But you would change the wording in the sentence a little bit then.
Yeah, you can change the word.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. I have a question. Is a load? If the load is too much for you guys, like 10 character, 9 character, or is it okay? Because when you watch the video, you can pause it, you can rewind a little bit, and then come back to do your assignment. That's another way. I think is that an advantage for study online. But the disadvantage is not, there is no interaction at the same time. That's a disadvantage. But the advantage is you can stop it, pause it, and rewind it, take notes, and come back. And later on, then you, based on what you understand, and you start working on your assignment. Forced you to digest everything. But based on your own pace, that's an advantage. Disadvantage is there's no interaction. instantly. That's the thing. So I want to get feedback from you guys. The workload, is that okay, or should we slow down a little bit, or we can keep kind of at least taste this kind of speed for a while?
I think that's a hard question to answer because some of us have more background and others do not. So
Okay.
I would think you would need to talk to people that are just studying Chinese for the first time to ask them.
Okay. And also, you guys, like somebody like Monica, you haven't learned Chinese before. Or you guys can just send a question to the Signal, or leave whatever in the comments. Then I can pick it up whatever way. Send it or email. Either way, we can communicate. Then I can answer it or in the next session or something. So that don't leave a question. No, we don't treat it. That's no good. Yeah, that's another way. Just find a way to communicate. Right.
Chuan has a comment here.
Chuan said it's a little fast, right? Chuan, you submit a assignment every week, right? Very good one. Very good one. I just don't have your contact in the Signal, so I cannot send back my feedback. Both writing and pronunciation is good. Very good. Every one of you, if you constantly submitting your assignment, writing is really good. Pronunciation still need to work on sometime. When you pronounce the single character, it's perfect. But when you say it in the sentence, sometimes it's off tone. That's normal. That's very normal because you are not used to it. But your writing, beautiful. Your writing is better than many. I cannot say most, but a big portion of Chinese friends I know better than them because you're writing it as an assignment. Yeah, like you see, when I write over here, I write it very quick. It's not as good as you guys. If I pay attention, I could write it. Looks okay, but and it looks bad. But you guys in your assignment, wonderful. Keep doing that. 2 years it seems very long, but it's not very long because you spend like a couple hours each week. At the end of 2 year or such a period, you may not be able to write all 2,000 or even 2,500 characters. You can write most of them, but you can recognize and pronounce them, understand them, all of them, or 90%, say, or with a little bit of help of the tools like Pleco or other dictionary. You can read almost everything. When I was like somebody, not just me, people like me, when we were young in like second or third grade in primary school, it's like 9 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old. We recognize less than 2,000 characters, but because we speak it every day, and I read the Journey to the West, maybe half of the character I cannot understand, but because the story, I just read it. When you get to that part, you can read all the things. Read a couple of books. That will help increase your vocabulary tremendously. With some kind of way, we teach you guys how to analyze it. For example, let me give you some analogy. Character. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, let me get it here. For example, we learn this, right? We learn this. We learn this. We learn. But now I'm showing you a different character, new character you don't know. This means green or very young, because upper part originally actually is this. at the Asian time. Nowadays, like this. It means green or young, like in the spring, something coming up. That's a very young state. Qing is very light. Is very light green. But when you put, basically it's a generate dan. This is sun. Upper part is sun. Lower part is dan. Dan means the essence, very good part, very essence part, fundamental part, or very good part of certain thing. That's Sun Dan is Qing. But when you combine this, that's the essence or concentrated part of your heart, of your emotion. All the good part, qing, this is pronounced as qing, the emotion. This qing is clear. What is in human world? The easiest thing, the most common thing, very clear, is clear water. So that's the basic meaning of the qing. And if you use a 部首 and 人, this is 人 or human. Of human, in a group of human, many men, women together, there's one person show the best quality, best part of it, of this group of human. So this character means beautiful, but especially used to describe beautiful of human. When you use this 部首 日, it means sun. Combined with it, means the sunshine, because it could be blocked by the cloud, but if everything is clear, opening up, that's the situation of sunshine. That's qing, pronounced as qing. Or this pronounced as qing, the first tone. So the tones all connected to this qing, 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 qing. When you change it to eyes, mu, that's talking about the right center part of your eye, jing. So later on, with all this kind of combination with the 部首 as, then here, now this qing also can consider as a 部首 too, see? But if you choose this, put all this character together as a group, we usually technically say these are 部首, because this belong to heart, it belong to water, belong to human, belong to sun, and belong to moon. But if you put them together, you can treat this as a 部首. All qing serve the meaning, contributed as a pronunciation qing from here, and also serve the meaning of the essence. Remember, in the early stage of this course, I talked about the 形声字. Any of you remember 形声字? Any of you remember? 象形 and pictogram, and 象声 phonetic, and 象意 meaning. But there's another majority, 80% of Chinese character nowadays is called 形声. Part of it, 形声字 means part of the character. Say this part mainly contributed to pronunciation. This part mainly contributed to meaning. It's definitely something related to water, or related to heart, or related to human form, or related to sun. Yeah, but this part contributed mainly the pronunciation. At the same time, most of the cases also contributed meaning, not just the pronunciation, also meaning too, because qing, green, the one meaning, another meaning of a qing is essence of anything, essence. The good part, the essence of, so good part, yeah, something like that. Or later on, when we accumulate certain to the vocabulary to a stage, I'm going to show you many group of this kind of character. You explain quick, and you have that. I think Basia has that concept in her mind already, because she's been working on this for a while, right?
李雪花还是question.
雪花 OK， 李雪花 你可以用中文讲。李雪花要说话吗？你可以用中文讲。李雪花听不到声音。李雪花说话吗？听不到你。你把那麦克风的打开，我们听不到你。We cannot hear you. Turn on your microphone. 没有了，听不到。Okay, any other? Tran said a little faster, right? A little too faster. Let me adjust it later on. One thing I'm thinking, maybe I want to get some feedback from you guys. You can give me feedback here or later on in the group. I know incorporated some the cultural connotation is helpful. It make it interesting. But the main task for us here is to learn language character. But I know if we incorporate more cultural connotation, and long-term wise, it's going to help you to understand and memorize it, because you understand it is easier to memorize it and compose the things constructed in your mind. But that will slow down. That will kind of slow down the speed to accumulate the vocabulary. Is a kind of dilemma. So which way you want to go? We want to go is like 10 character, 8 character each time. When some of it, like 天干地支, there's a certain group of meaning, a connotation to get, a cultural connotation is easier. But sometimes it's not always the case. I may just compose a ballad or compose a text or a little story, including this character, what I want to include in this particular period, a 1 hour or a 50 minutes thing into that one. Either way, so which way you prefer, or you just go with my flow, or you can give me feedback anytime. Either way is okay. But still in my mind, the purpose is 1 year is like 52 weeks. Let's treat it as a 50 week, because you need to have vacation, at least 2 week vacation, like we are doing in the school. So 100 week, we're getting 2,000 out, getting to 2,000 characters to get you guys there, to can be able to read, and with some knowledge, basic knowledge of a culture, background, connotation, all things. But reading the ballads or reading the poem will help you to improve your pronunciation, especially put the single characters into the sentence. Then you manage it. Even in somebody like Jean, she learned Chinese before, also like somebody like Basia. When you put into the sentence, sometimes it's off tone. It's very common. But I think after 1 year, you're gonna right now you're improved a lot. It's half a year already. When we pass 1 year, we're getting to the end of this year, you're gonna much better. I'm gonna compose more and more text and ballad for you guys. And maybe Basia, if you have time or you're willing to do this, you can help us to organize the text. Then later on we can get on like a textbook for you guys, at least for the group of people. Then if we organize it in a good way, we can share with more people later on. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the way to go. But give me your feedback if you feel too hard. Feel free to say it. If you feel okay, I can endure it, I can take it, I can go along with it. That's another way to do it, because you make an effort. Right? Accumulate whatever vocabulary or you learn it. Yeah.
Just to give you a little feedback, it seems to me if you don't include the cultural, our long-term meaning is going to be really compromised.
Okay.
I mean, I've studied Chinese before and it's pure translation, but I'm not learning the culture. And as you can see by some of the questions we ask from a Western point of view, because we don't understand the Chinese point of view, and your explanation is really helpful.
Okay. Okay. So I put that into the yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then we'll emphasize that one. Even maybe we can slow down a little bit. For certain, if 天干地支 their group, some of the time, many other times we cannot put in a group, but I can group it into the ballad or into a text, a story, something like Vared. She wrote a story from her understanding, or maybe when she was young, she lived in a certain place with her grandpa, to see the ocean, beautiful thing. She utilized all the character. Oh, feel free to compose a text. Well, some character you don't know it, you can use your own language. Of course, English is easier for me because I don't understand Polish or Korean or Vietnamese. You can use English, that character, compose a Chinese sentence, but a certain character, you don't know it, use English there. But the idea is to practice it, thinking in the sequence in Chinese. Thinking in Chinese, no matter what language you are learning, thinking in that language. Learn how to think in that language is critical. Then after a while, you are trained to think that way. You're learning that language. Otherwise, just like Jean said, you are learning translation. That's how I learn English. I learned at least 10 years in China, English, and come here after almost 30 years. You can still, when I speak English, a lot of time it's Chinglish. It's Chinese kind of English. It's not really English because I still do. I was taught that way. I translate quickly in my mind. I compose it in Chinese and translate into English and try to say it. So sometimes when I say that, seems like very fluent, but when I say it, American people don't understand. I'm sorry, can you speak it again? I think I say it very clear, but actually I'm not really, the flow is not in English. So you don't want to learn any language, especially Chinese, into a way to translate. That is the wrong way. That's how the majority of the society teaching Chinese in the wrong way. So that's how you learn it a long time, you don't get it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jim. So I try to incorporate more cultural communication into the character itself to do it. Mira, we have 2 minutes. I'm sorry, go ahead. Turn on your, yeah.
Yeah, the assignment we are doing now isn't yet enough, not enough, or enough.
Thing is, I don't get it.
Actually, they just said we need to make a word sentence.
Yeah, make your own sentence. You feel free to send your sentence with the English word into it in the assignment. I try to understand and create for you guys. That's a good exercise. Yeah, like Ballad and Basia, she started compose something like a poem. That's a good way. Don't feel shy. Do it. Send it to the Google Drive. We'll work on together. That help me to understand you and help you guys to improve. All right. I think the Google Drive is running out at the time. They said remind me there's 1 minute, under a minute, something. Feel free to send a question in the Signal or Gmail. Then let's see if we can do this later, more live thing later on, according to the schedule of the school. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you said you were going to teach us how to create a ballad.
Yeah, later on. Sorry. All right. Not many people.